Hi, and welcome back to another Tools for Perseverance. This is Dr. Jessica Wright. This is our second part on resilience, and I've been scouring some research to find some practical tools to give you on how to build resilience. So today we're going to be talking about journaling, and not just any journaling, not free thought journaling, although that is always valuable. Writing is such a powerful tool, and we're going to talk about targeted resilience worksheets. You'll recall back to the study that I referenced in one of the first emotional intelligence in this series, where I described how there was a study that put individuals at stress, so that deliberately stressed out some undergraduate students, right? Had them go through rigorous mathematics tests, and then at the end of the test, they divided them into groups. So some of the groups went out and got physical activity. Some of the groups got to talk to each other about the event that happened. Some got to journal, and some continued on to the next task without a break, without processing it. And we talked a lot about how those that just continued on and they didn't do any of the activities, they didn't go outside, they didn't journal, they didn't talk with each other, their amygdalas sent stronger and stronger signals to the prefrontal cortex. So their primitive brain was sending stronger and stronger signals to the conscious brain that they were stressed, that they had anxiety, that they were in an anxious state. And so one of those tools, right, that was effective at reducing the amygdala's signals that they were sending to the prefrontal cortex, basically reducing the primitive brain's attempt to tell the conscious brain, hey, I'm stressed out, was journaling. So writing exercises. Now there's all kinds of amazing research on the benefits of writing, the benefits of journaling, but today we're going to talk specifically about what Dr. Sydney I found. Dr. I is an associate professor at the Department of Psychiatry at Oregon Health and Science University. So he describes much of his research is related to resilience worksheets and resilience building plan and building resilience skills. And one of the worksheets that I found had some really interesting content associated with it. So we're going to talk through that today and how you can make a version of your own resilience worksheets. So let's talk about what a resilience worksheet can look like. So one of the things that if you have small children at home that you might notice is that whenever their teachers give them a big project, they tend to break it down into small chunks. This idea of chunking information or chunking work is actually highly studied to be very effective at both eliciting new information, right? So having you come up with new ideas, as well as helping you to retain that memory, right? So if you create something that is in chunked elements, that it helps you to remember it better as you go along. So with our resilience worksheets, I'm going to show you 4 different types of questions that you can ask. And what I would recommend is if you've got a journal, if you've got a book that you write in, or even if you have an online platform or a digital platform, maybe you use the Notes app in your phone, any way that you do it, pre-write yourself some questions, right? So write the questions down for yourself, creating a worksheet. Something you can go back to later and answer and reflect and think about. Setting up your own worksheets is going to be a fantastic way for you to help build the skill of resilience. And you'll remember that we defined resilience as our ability to bounce back when we encounter adversity. So that's what we're going to suggest. We're going to give you 4 different types of questions. You can use all of these. You can come up with your own. It's really going to be a matter of finding questions that are valuable to you, that help you think, that help you get curious about your world and really have some reflection time. So let's get started. So first, we're going to look at sensory relaxation activities. So these are questions that are encouraging you to reflect on activities that engage your senses. And then hopefully you'll go out and actually do those. So the first is going to be, what is a relaxing tactile experience for you? So often individuals that have sensory issues, or if they are an anxious person, one thing that can help relieve some anxiety is if you had a jar or a bucket or a bowl of some sort of small object that you dipped your hand into. So for example, if you had a bowl of beans, or if you had a jar of rice that you can put your hand inside to help feel the different grains of rice, right? It's a very tactile experience, and it's been a useful tool for people that have a lot of anxiety or are experiencing something difficult. Another consideration is water. So if you can be in a shower or in a bath, experiencing a tactile experience, it's going to be very valuable. Those are the types of things that this question is going to have you ponder, have you explore. What's a relaxing tactile experience? What smells help you relax? Do you like lavender? Do you like lemon? What is your smell that helps you relax? What visuals help you relax? We talked a little bit in one of our sessions about the visuals of nature and how images of nature can help us to decrease our blood pressure and decrease the cortisone levels that are in our blood or in our saliva, in our urine, basically helping our stress hormones to decrease, right? So what visuals are helpful for you to relax? What sounds help you relax? Do you like music? Do you like, what type of music do you like? Do you enjoy soothing words? And then what tastes help you relax? Is it cool drink of water? Is it the taste of chocolate? What taste is it that helps you relax? So this is what you would explore. This is what you would write down. And so the idea would be that you would write these questions somewhere for you to go back later and have a journaling experience. Another group of questions that we could talk through are increasing positive emotions. It's like another category of questions. So asking yourself, what is it that makes you laugh? What 3 things are you grateful for today? Later, we're going to have a whole section on gratitude and what gratitude can do for our brains, our minds, our hearts, our spirits. So, and then we're going to talk about what accomplishments. So another question you might ask, what accomplishments are you most proud of in your life? And what good news have you heard lately? These questions you would write ahead of time in your journal and then go back and reflect on them. What about creating meaning? So one of the most important principles that we understand about resilience are people that are resilient have a sense of meaning. They have a sense of purpose with their work, with their life, with what they're doing. So asking yourself, what kind of activities do you find meaningful? And then getting specific, what happened last week that was meaningful to you that happens on a regular basis, right? What about last week that reoccurs all the time is going to be meaningful to you? What activities do you do that cause you to lose track of time? There's a really interesting study on activities that help you lose track of time. We also refer to this as being in the flow, or being sort of in the zone. That's other phrases that we use for this. Activities that when you get going, you might look up and a large amount of time has passed. You're completely unaware of how time works. And those activities tend to be meaningful to you, and they can be, not always, but they can be something that helps you to become resilient. So what are the things that you get lost in? Is it a good novel? Are there art projects that you work on? What is it that you're doing that helps you get in the flow, or be in the zone, or cause you to lose track of time? And then the last category that we're going to talk about, and you're welcome to go out and find other questions, other questionnaires that you would fill in your journal, writing the questions down so that you can later go back and answer them, is creating a caring community, right? One of the best ways to deal with some of the things that you're going through is to help someone else. So the first, how can you connect with friends and family on a regular basis? Do you need a calendar? of who you're going to talk to every day? Do you, what ideas do you have about connecting with friends and family on a regular basis? How can you reach out to those that might need a kind word today? How do you know who's struggling, and how can you reach out to them? What can you do to support others in your community who are struggling? What things can you do you feel capable of doing to help those that are struggling? And then asking, what are your sources of support? Where do you get support from? So these are some of the questions. These 4 categories are just categories of questions that might be valuable to you in writing them down in your journal so that you can go back and later fill them out. Now the key with all of this is considering what time, and this is the question we're going to ask in the chat box, what time of day or night works best for you to work on a resilience worksheet. So let's say you've already set it up. You've set up your worksheet. You've written questions in. And let's say you only have 10 minutes a day that you're going to work on this. Let's say you have 5 minutes or 3 minutes. Where do those minutes fit in? Is it going to be first thing in the morning? Is it going to be at noon? What time of the day or the night hours work best for you to work on a resilience worksheet? And I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the chat box. Please enter it in, type it up. What time of day or night works best for you to work on a resilience worksheet, to fill out some of those questions that we just went over? I look forward to seeing what you have to say. Thanks.